Hello and welcome to the BGBG podcast. My name is Logan.
And I'm Brendan. Ryan can't join us tonight.
Again.
So,
so we're still going to go on without him. On today's episode, we'll be delving into the dynamic world of games you can play with pretty much only a deck of cards and doing some honorable mentions of very card-heavy, card-centric games.
Yeah.
Similar to the dice.
You're right. Because you always have your specialty things that you can't.
Yeah. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the game of the week, which is going to be Diamonds.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've played it.
I'm not. I was reading the thing. I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting.
So Diamonds is a trick-taking card game. It's around $25, and it's a fairly deluxe trick-taking game as far as they go. For those of you that don't know, a trick-taking game is a card-based game where players take turns playing cards from their hand, aiming to win each round or trick. By playing the highest ranked card of that whatever suit was first played, or by using special like trump cards. Then the player who wins the trick will typically lead the next trick. So it's kind of like a King of the Hill situation. You have a set hand.
Okay, I have a frame of reference for this game now.
Okay, and then you play a card and highest number
wins.
And then it depends on how it works. But for Diamonds, it's a pretty refreshing take on the trick taking genre. It's very easy for beginners to pick up because it's just high card wins. You want to match suit. But there's enough like strategic depth and experience to keep lots of people engaged because it shines in its ability to create a meaningful card play whether or not you're winning the trick.
Right.
So each suit does something like, I'm gonna get this wrong, but for example, Spades lets you take a diamond from the middle.
Oh, I see.
Clubs lets you steal a diamond from another player.
Right.
Hearts lets you stash a diamond from in front of you into your vault so no one can steal it.
Right.
And Diamonds lets you take a diamond from the pile and put it straight into your vault.
Okay.
And at the end of each round, once you're out of cards, if you haven't won any tricks, you get to take 2 free diamonds into your vault. You get those free points. Okay. If you can't play in the suit of the trick, you get to take that action for free. And if you win the trick, you take that action and you get to gain points. The diamonds are like the win kind of con piece.
Right. You have to use those to win the game.
Yes. And while it is a specialty game that you buy, it comes with little vaults and diamond pieces and cards. You can essentially play it with a normal deck of cards. Because the diamonds go 1 to 15. So you're going to be capped at 1 to 14? 13? 14? Because 10 and then 13. Jack. So you'll be capped
at 13, yeah.
You'll be too short.
But you can use jokers.
There's not 4 jokers for suits though. In most.
So each one has. Each one's
at
14.
4 suits and diamonds.
Okay.
And it goes up to 15. So
I was thinking the diamond. It was only the diamond suit, but
it lowers it a little bit. But you can play with just a deck of cards and pennies.
Yeah.
Just follow the rules. Like, hey, this suit does this. Get your pennies. They're worth points. The ones hidden in your vault and diamonds are worth double points at the end. So it's the incentive to get those.
So the frame of reference I have for this game, real quick, is a Teen Titans episode.
Oh.
So
Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go?
The Teen Titans.
Okay.
It's at the beginning. They're playing the game and they're all stacking the cards on top of each other. It's like, Volcano gets beat by like tornado or something. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I get it. So it's like whoever has the highest wins. I know that dates me as I'm a 90s, 2000s child. Yeah. I understand. Ryan's not here, but he would definitely ask, what is the edibility of the game?
Oh, this game is so edible. The diamond pieces. So there's the diamonds and then rubies. The rubies are like worth 5 diamonds. Just to make it simpler with keeping track of points, so there's more playability and point value. But the diamonds look like that delicious, like crushed ice.
Oh, okay.
It looks so crunchy, like rock candy, and the urge to not eat those pieces is strong.
It's like, I have to take these away.
I know. I'm all like, I don't want to win this game because I'm going to put something in my mouth.
You'd have definitely been the child in any of my classrooms. I've been like, I have to watch you because you will eat something.
I will eat something and anything. The game's got to look delicious. And Diamonds checks that box. It's a delicious game.
A delicious game.
Yes, it is. From the quick reflexes needed from games like Spoons, to the strategic solitude of Solitaire, we've got a deck full of discussion points to get to.
So Solitaire, it was one of them. Do you know how many versions of Solitaire there are?
Yeah, there's
There's
Spider.
There's the regular. There's one called Free Cell Solitaire, which so what it is instead of having like the stacks like you do and things are hidden, all of your cards are visible.
Okay.
And they're still in stacks. Then you have 4 cells at the top, but you're not allowed to move a stack that has more cards in it than the number of free cells you have available. Right, so you're trying to get things into your stacks of your aces, to get them ready, but you also have to move enough cards to get down further into your piles.
Okay,
right.
See, here I was thinking on the computer, Free Cell was a completely different game.
Yeah, no, I found this out because YouTube put out the play on the thing. I was like, well, I wanted to play Solitaire, and that game is frustratingly hard.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great solo strategy game with the RNG of the shuffling the cards, but getting those stacks sometimes.
There's so many times where you're just like, oh cool, I'm at a no-win situation.
You can cheat, but that's no fun. And it's just you, so you know deep down you didn't earn that win.
A book I wish I still had. It was like 1001 card games you could just play with cards. We talked about this. But I know from that we had Gin Rummy is in there. Cribbage. Cribbage is you still need the race track. I've not played it myself, but so it's still the cards are very much important to it.
There's games like Spoons, which also need something. You need spoons in the middle. You're secretly trying to get 4 of a kind in a draft style pick and pass.
War is super.
A deck of cards.
Yep.
High card wins. Everyone knows War.
I hated War as a kid because it was. I'm like, no, it's just there's no. It's just oh, I flipped the highest card.
War, and then you lose your whole pile.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a BS. Yes. Another bluffing game where you're putting down values of a card. I find it most fun with multiple decks because you can do something outrageous like 12 aces.
Right.
And
just go crazy.
Oh, does he have 12 aces or do you have 6 jokers?
Right. What's he? Then you have, of course, your Texas Hold'em, blackjack, regular five
all
card.
The various leagues of poker.
Yeah, I know Texas Hold'em the best because we used to play that at a family reunion.
And we're near Texas.
Yeah, and it's just part of what we get. Then you have the games.
Go Fish.
Go Fish. Yeah, I would have totally forgot about Go Fish.
Mao.
I've not played Mao.
Okay, if you haven't played Mao, I'm gonna do a little bit of spoilies.
Okay.
But we play Mao. We played so much in high school. It's like the game we played at every party.
Right.
So the rule of Mao is you can't tell anyone the rules. It's like Fight Club. Whoever's hosting typically knows the rules. You have to have someone who knows the rules to be like the judge.
Right.
Essentially. And then it's just you play cards. But there are rules on what cards you can play, when you can play them, and what they do, like their actions.
I see.
And from there, so no one knows. So for example, let's say, I think actually a 7 may be reversed the turn order.
Right.
So if I play a 7, and then the person next to me goes, they get a penalty and they draw 2 cards. Because it was not their turn.
Oh.
So then the person before me has to go. And until that person goes, everyone's going to take a penalty.
Oh.
And it's just what you have to figure out the rules. So things like that, you realize pretty early on, 7 is reverse.
That's kind of fun because it's that thing of you don't know the rules and you have to work together to kind of figure. I'm like, oh, okay, well that's what that was supposed to do, or that's what that does. Okay, or you play something I played that right, awesome.
Yeah, so each card has its own set of rules. There's a couple different versions of Mao. There's one official one on a website somewhere.
Okay, just because somebody's like, well, I gotta write this down.
But the way it works is once you run out of cards, you win, and there's something you have to say to officially win. If you don't say it, you don't win. So it really penalizes new players to try to figure that out.
Right.
And then once you win, you get to make a rule for the next round.
Oh.
And that rule is secret. And in high school,
people have to figure out.
Yeah, there was some insane rules. Some people were doing complex math. If the previous card added to this card is not divisible by 3, you have to say this.
Right.
And if it is, you don't. And everyone's like, how do I know when to say it? I can't figure it out.
See, what's great is you get a group of people who keep playing it. So after a time, it's the rules becomes it's Calvin Ball. If you know what that is.
Yeah. There was different ones where you had to, if you were playing a card value 5 or less, when you play the card in the middle, you have to have that number of fingers out. So if you're playing a 3, you have to have 3 fingers on the card as you play it. So that's subtle. So people can see you do it. And they might catch on and realize, but other people aren't going to do that, and you're going to be like, "You didn't follow my rule. You get a penalty."
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll have to play it sometime.
That's fun. That's pretty fun though. I like those kind of games.
Yeah, well, we can do a big mountain night
because it's like you got to figure. It's like, okay, I got to figure out the game. I love that like deduction. Like,
my favorite part is winning, because then you get to make some outrageous rule.
You'd have all kinds of fun with it. Then
there's so much. There's like, because you can change the existing rules. Most people don't, but you're allowed to like change or modify them.
Right.
Instead, that's just usually frowned upon, because it's like everyone knows what 7s does. You shouldn't change what 7s do. You can add in addition stuff like that. Like my sister did one once where her rules, like every time you play a card that is higher than the last card played, you have to like make a specific noise. So it'd be her turn and she'd play something, and occasionally she'd make a noise. And we couldn't figure out what the condition was to make the noise. Right. So you'd make the noise in your turn, and she'd be like, "Nope, you broke the rule." Because
draw a card.
You'd made all the right. And sometimes she'd be like, "Yep, okay." And I'm like, "I made the noise this time. What's different?" And it was so simple as just if your card was higher than the last card.
And that's fun. Okay, I like those because that's a fun party game that's like not.
Yep, and there's no reason, you just play any card.
Yeah,
but it has actions, and you have to figure out what they are.
Yeah.
So I love Mao.
Another one, we talked about this in the making your own game. We will talk about this one. I caught myself in the future. Past me talked about it, but it doesn't come out till future me has talked about this. Yes. But Ascension, which is it's like your roguelike
like D&D dungeon crawl.
Yeah, it's like the idea is it's a each suit is like a class. It's wizard, rogue, paladin, and healer cleric. I think they're the 4. Or was it barbarian? I know one of them is like a healer, one of them is like a DPS guy. And then you're like going up this mountain. I think the idea is you're supposed to be going up Mount Olympus and fighting monsters. Ascend. Yeah. And the cards have actions tied to them. They will attack you. And each class has a special ability. So like I want to say it was like the rogue could like combine cards to do things. It was the barbarian, because the barbarian can use the cards that are usually supposed to be hurt, because the idea is as you get hurt, you put the opposite of your suit into your deck. And those are dud cards, but the barbarian can use them to attack, right? Because he's hurt. The more hurt he is, the more strong he is, right? Yeah. So you have games like that where it's just you're still playing with just a regular deck. I think it requires 2 deck of cards, one for the bad guys, one for you, but that's it. That's all it is. Then you get into like your traditional. Then you can kind of like shift from there into your Uno and
how many colors are in Uno?
Blue, yellow, green, red. 4.
How many suits are there in a deck of cards?
There are 4 in a deck.
You can play Uno without specialty cards with a standard deck of cards.
No.
You just match suit or number.
Because then your 10s and stuff, anything above what you usually would be using can just become your wild skips.
So you can assign like Jacks are +2, Queens are this, Jokers are... Yeah. So you can play it as... You can play Uno. You don't have to buy Uno. Sorry, guys. You were scammed when you bought Uno and thought it was some special dope card collection. Nope. You can just get 2 decks of cards and play Uno.
This explains like when I played my mom, because I played Phase 10. My mom loves Phase 10, and we played Gin Rummy. I'm like, this just seems like Phase 10 with the numbers filed off. And I realized, no, Phase 10 is Gin Rummy with numbers put on it.
Yes. Oh my! I love telling people that about Uno. Some people's hearts break. I'm like, in a pinch, 2 decks of cards. You can pretty much play Uno.
I always have a deck of cards somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I have one in my bag right now. I have a travel deck, the air deck. It's little skinny cards you can play. Yeah. It's made solitaire on like a airport
so you can like
table.
Because you got to do something on those flights. I know that. Yeah. I'm just like, I sleep. I usually sleep.
Yeah, I audiobooks for me.
My poor brother, he cannot sleep on an airplane, and I just am like out the moment we're in the air,
out like a light.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Uno it's just a card game. Basic cards, they just reskin.
Breaking news: if we go missing, it's because Hasbro sent.
Exactly. Yeah. The Pinkertons.
Yeah, the Pinkertons are after it. But of course, and then you have like, so there's Uno, there's Duo, of course.
There's what we talked about this before, the Uno, Hate Your Friends.
Yep, there's various versions.
Yeah, Platinum Uno, Reverso.
Yep. There's of course then there's Skip-Bo.
Skip-Bo.
I've never played Skip-Bo.
It's a Hasbro game though, isn't it?
Is it? I think it. I thought it was. I knew it's from that same genre. I've only ever seen it
in like bundles. It's like Uno, Skip-Bo, and Phase 10.
Yeah, you get the 3.
And I'm like, I don't know what Skip-Bo is, but I like Uno and Phase 10.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, sure.
Poor Skip-Bo got overshadowed.
Yeah, it's the middle child.
The game's probably like super fun and nobody plays it.
I think my mom has this set. She was teaching my sister. I'm like, I'm cool. I play Phase 10.
Yeah, bye.
Then you have other games. We've talked about Flux. Flux is a card game.
Yeah, I mean you do need the special 2 rule cards, but it's just cards. It's just a deck. It's really easy to travel.
Yeah.
Same with there's games like Love Letters.
Oh yeah,
you played Magic card game.
Yeah, Magic is a card game.
Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Pokemon,
Lorcana,
all those. We've done this episode, but
yeah,
they're all card games.
Yeah, I was gonna like gloss over them fairly quickly.
Yes.
Another one I play a lot is called Car Wars.
Okay.
And how Car Wars works is you have a car with values on it, and then you draw from a shared pile. And the idea is each of them are like an action. So like one's like laser right 5.
Okay.
So you deal 5 damage to the right with a laser. And then you have cards you can like reflect it with armor. And the idea is that you're trying to destroy their armor and take out the driver of the car. And that's how you win the round.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's a super. I can bring it to one of the game nights.
Oh yeah.
It's super simple. It's like 5 players, I think it's like 5 or 6, but it's super quick, super fast. I have terrible luck in the game and never have armor. I get shredded so often. I'm like, okay. Then another one, it's a card game called Geek or Ches Geek. It's from Steve Jackson Games, and I
love Steve Jackson Games.
It's a fun. So the idea of this is you're a bunch of roommates, and you're trying to get enough money to like leave. Or either you're trying to get like your victory condition to get out of the apartment, right? And so the whole thing is like, you get a job assigned at random. So, and that's how much income you can use to like go do like food things or entertainment. And then there's actions you can do though. Like you can, like there's nosy, like guests like, well, I don't want this person who eats all my snacks, or you like play it and it's like it eats somebody's food and they lose points. Or it's like, oh, this person chases off your significant other. Then there's others where it's like they're sorry, but, and the idea of those cards is they just counter whatever you're doing. You're like, I'm gonna get chips. Like, oh, sorry, man, your chips like got eaten. It's a really fun game because the idea is it's like you're just a bunch of people living in a house together, and how much you drive each other crazy.
No, that sounds super fun.
It's I don't know if it's out of print or not. Steve Jackson Games, they're kind of
on and off,
but it's a very fun game. Like, and it can sit. I think I've played with up to 6-7 people.
Another category to gloss over is the all the Cards Against Humanity, all of those, the apples to apples, red flags,
your, like, party
fun employed,
games,
where it's just a big box of cards that say different stuff.
Yep. Those you have those.
I'll say my favorite is probably red flags out of all those. It's same things as like Cards Against Humanity, apples to apples, but you're building the perfect date, and then you give them a red flag.
Oh,
it's like they're rich, they're a perfect cook, but they have a foot fetish.
Oh, okay.
And it gets progressively worse
right
from that one.
Okay, that's fun.
I'll have to bring that to. That one's fun because then you try to sell your perfect man, but they have a red flag.
It's
like real
bad. How bad is
like
that?
How does the good outweigh it? So.
Right.
Super Fight.
I've not played Super Fight.
Super Fight is another big card collection game.
I have one after that.
Okay. Super Fight is you kind of play cards to build your hero. You play like a hero card and you get attributes. Like you can get Superman with tentacle arms and this, and you fight as to why this man would win against all the other people in the ring.
Okay. It's your
you like RNG build a character.
And then you have to like comic book logic why they're the best.
Yeah.
It's like death battle, but without the actual facts.
There's heroes, there's items, there's like attributes, there's a ton of stuff. There's just a big box, and you all just kind of argue as to, and someone is voting, obviously, as the judge of why this hero is the best after they explain why they would win.
One I was going to talk about, it's from, I want to say it was Richard Garfield, but it's called Smash Up.
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
So the idea of Smash Up is there's like half decks that have themes, right? And then you take and you get 2 themes at random. So like one could be like their gnomes is one side of your theme, and the other is ninjas. So your deck is gnome ninjas.
Oh.
And then you have to play a game, and the idea is you have to win. I want to say it's like you take out the other players.
So it's kind of like a set deck building.
Yep.
Where you get your gnome deck, your ninja deck.
Yep. And then so another one could be like aliens and archers. I don't know if archers is actually a thing, but so it's like weird combos, right? Or and the fun of that is you've got like you're just given 2 random sides and like how they work together. And you got to figure that out and take out your opponents.
Yeah.
That's it's a great one. There's a lot. I know there's so many expansions to that one.
The amount of things people can think of with just a deck of cards.
It's
honestly astounding. From it just being like a normal deck of cards and the millions of games you can play with just those. And then you have the skin versions like Uno, which is arguably you can do with just a deck of cards. But they have like those specialty cards. And then the ones that you definitely need those cards. It's just there's so many.
One Ryan had wanted to mention was Heroes of the Realm or Hero Realms.
Yes, I
which
played
is
that with them.
Drafting
deck building
deck building game. I know another one is the Marvel, not contest
Marvel Universe.
Is it Universe?
Marvel Champions?
Champions is it? Yeah, but. I've not played Hero Realms, but I know so it's a drafting game. It has a bunch of expansions apparently. Like it's
similar to Munchkin.
Okay, it's a lot like Munchkin. I got you.
Munchkin is like the baby kid friendly version of Hero Realm.
Got you.
Hero Realm is like you get a set theme. Like you're a rogue, you have a lot of rogue cards if you're drafting deck building. Munchkin is more like everyone has access to the rogue cards, and there's like also a ton of more friendly stuff.
Right,
but that's instead of fighting each other in Munchkin, you fight the monsters. So.
Well, because that's the idea, like a Munchkin in the the RPG world is somebody who's a min-maxing, like, oh, they're so annoying. Like, why did you take that feat that's obviously meant for this?
I mean, there's all your games like Unstable Unicorns, Llamas Unleashed,
Here to Slay.
Love
Here to Slay's at our Walmart now for like $20. I thought about picking it up.
The deluxe Kickstarter.
How is it a good game?
Yeah, I'll let you borrow it. You can play it first before you buy it. It's definitely one that you may not play a lot.
Got you.
So it's really going to depend on your play group. So,
then you've got games like Elder Sign, which is also kind of a dice game. I was wanting to mention it in one episode, but where it's like it's probably more of a card game because it's you have like your it's allies, items, and monsters can attack you, and it's like you're a group of investigators trying to deal with an eldritch monstrosity, Cthulhu. I know it's usually you have like a monster you're trying to beat by a certain amount of time. Oh, Wingspan. It's very much about the cards. Because it's like what matters is your bird cards.
Yeah.
And trying to set them up so that when you do an action you get the most like eggs or you're getting food. Or even just drawing more birds. I really like doing the top row and the bird row the most. I guess it's the forest and the water.
Water is the bottom.
Yeah,
blue players.
Yeah,
of course you.
I play blue. There's a reason at like the local our local game stores here had a match against each other. I played a red-green deck because I'm like, oh, everybody's going to be playing like control-y stuff. They didn't, surprisingly, but I was like, I want to play dumb, stompy things. Okay, I play too much control in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I think all trick-taking games or card games. You got like Hearts, Spades, Fox and the Forest, the 2-player one, and with a lot of these like diamonds, like we said, it's a skin that you can modify very easily to a normal deck of cards,
right?
If you know the rules.
Yeah, you just need to know the rules.
And if you just look up the rules for Fox and the Forest online, I'm pretty sure that goes up to 13. So that ports right over.
Oh yeah,
to a normal
there you go.
Deck of cards.
And he's just like, And that's the biggest thing is like as long as you know what the cards do, like or not what the card, but like you have the right amount and know what the cards do, you're good. You can kind of just
Old Maid.
I would not.
I've only ever played that with like a specialty deck.
Yeah,
but I think you can play with a normal deck.
Yeah, you can play with.
It's like you're passing cards and you want to pass the maid because you don't want it, right?
Yeah. So the idea is you want to get rid of all your cards and not be the person who has the old maid because then you lose. I've only ever played with the specialty. Yeah. I only recently found out you can play with normal cards because I was watching Spy X Family and they play a game of old maids. Yeah. That's the only reason I know.
Anya and her peanuts.
Yeah.
What's not to love? Teaching us new things every day.
Yeah, see, I've learned so many weird things from media.
There's like garbage, which you also just play with a deck of cards and nothing else.
Okay.
I don't remember how it goes, but there's like you play cards and there's a garbage pile and you can draw from it. There's Snap, which is you're trying to play cards as quickly as possible.
I've heard of Snap. I've heard of Snap.
There's like the rules on how you can play cards on top of cards. You're just trying to do it as fast as possible.
So when I had my after school program, there's a game they played. It was like jacks or something. Slapjack, yes. And the idea is
just card,
yep.
slap them jacks.
Yeah, yep. I had they're like, Mr. Brandon, you want to play slapjack with me? I'm like, sure.
You decimated these kids and broke their hands.
They are terrible. No, they were better at it than I was. I was like, I have terrible reaction speed. I'm like, what is going on? They're like, oh, I got it.
I mean, so similar to slapjack, same like concept is Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. There are cards that either have a taco, a cat, a goat, a cheese, a pizza on them. And then I think there's 3 specialties: the gorilla, the narwhal, and the groundhog.
Gotcha.
They are the not taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza options.
Right.
And you go around, and it's war style. You have a deck. You don't get to see what it is. You just top deck.
Okay.
And you play, and in order, everyone says, like, I'll go taco.
Oh, so I say
go cat. I go goat. You go cheese. And you flip your card, and I play it. And if you say the card that you flip, you slap the pile. The last one to slap takes the pile and try and get rid of all your cards.
Oh.
So it's slapjack, but funny word.
You don't want... When you said cheese, cat, taco, pizza...
Taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza.
Super hyper force monkey team go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really fun. There's Kittens in a Blender.
Yeah, we played that one.
Yeah, card game.
That was you're like, oh my, you're like, haha, and then later you're like, God, that's brutal.
I know. Yeah, it sounds so innocent and fun. You're putting kittens on the counter, putting kittens in the box, trying to get your kittens home, but then you also put kittens in the blender.
You're just like, oh, I'm a terrible person.
Yeah. Well, and then it always ends up being like you play as nice for as long as you can until someone puts your card in a blender,
and then you're like,
I will ruin you.
It's like,
I don't care how cute it is. It's a green cat. It's going in the blender.
Yep.
Yeah. There's just 52 card pickup.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
I call that I dropped my commander deck. Oh no.
Oh, we talked about this one before in the budget episode as well. Happy Salmon.
Happy Salmon is a card game. Yeah.
I mean, arguably, you could do with a deck of playing cards. You just assign values.
Well, it's like aces or high fives.
Yeah.
Go high five somebody.
You gotta go run around and find them. And yeah, so it's a really fun. It's just a card game. Sushi Go
is a card game. Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of Go Fish like, right?
It's drafting.
I was thinking a different game is like where you're trying to get stuff out of other people's hands.
Yeah, Sushi Go is drafting. And you're trying to claim different things of point values. That one you definitely need to buy. You can't kind of make your own. Codenames.
Oh, Codenames is a card.
It's cards with words on them.
Yeah.
But it's a game with just cards. Codenames is really fun. You're just trying to get people to guess your words.
Right.
There's a lot of games like that. There's I'm blanking. Those games where you're on teams and you draw cards and have to make them like guess what your card is.
I was thinking
not charades.
I immediately went to charades and I'm like, that's not right. So.
Yeah, the games like that. That it's just cards in the box. They have words on them and stuff. Bang has a card version.
It does.
Yes,
okay.
It does.
Fun fact: we talked about D&D and stuff being a dice game, and not thinking of it a dice game. One of the versions of Deadlands is played using poker hands.
Really?
Yeah, you can use your initiative system and you're like resolving checks and stuff using a deck of cards.
Mm-hmm. I know we talked about this in the trading card episode, but Keyforge
Yes.
is great. It's pre-made decks. They're made to battle each other.
Yep.
So it's pretty much just a battling card game.
One I've played recently is called Villainous.
Ooh, I love Villainous.
Villainous is a card game. Very
There's
much
some delectable pieces in Villainous.
Yeah,
little figurines.
Yeah. The figurines are quite colorful.
Yeah,
And, yeah, they're very
candy,
chewy, gummy looking. Yeah.
That's why I don't own them.
Yet again, one of those you definitely have to buy that game. You cannot
Yeah.
port that over with unique because you have your unique boards and your unique cards.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a fun one. I've Villainous. Also, one of those games, tons of expansions. Like they have the base game and like at least 3 plus a Star Wars version, and I think they have a Marvel version as well.
Rock Paper Wizard.
Yep. Okay.
Yes. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I was like, what is the name of that game? I've played it a couple times. I think Ryan has it.
I want to say yeah.
But it's like a very fast paced. You get like spell cards. You're trying to get tokens.
Yeah.
And you have wizards or tokens. You move up the board for points, and you're just kind of selecting and casting spells, which is just rock paper scissors.
Yep.
Essentially, it's just you play rock paper scissors
with
cards, so you don't get a free for all rock paper scissors.
Yep.
You can only select from those ones. And
there's another version of that where it's like supposed to be you're supposed to be like wizards having a battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's very much like heavy metal rock band inspired.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the game right now. And the idea is you're trying to take out the other wizards.
Mm-hmm.
That bothers me because I cannot remember the name of that game. Because I saw it played. What was it? Geeks and Centric, the tabletop with Will Wheaton. What was that called? The series they had with Will Wheaton.
Yes.
They played it on there, I want to say.
Oh, I love that series, but I can't remember the name.
I know. It's vague fog.
And I'm going to cry. We'll think of it randomly in the middle of the night, and I'll wake up and just be like,
before
at 2
the 2020 happened.
Yeah. We can get into the unstable games. There's
a lot of those. So
Exploding Kittens unstable as well?
Yes.
Yeah, there's Exploding Kittens, Zombie Kittens, Imploding Kittens, the NSFW Exploding Kittens.
Then you have like Unstable Unicorn.
Barking Kittens.
Oh, jeez. That's just the kittens alone.
Yes, there's the Party Pack, Streaking Kittens. And most of these are expansions to the game. But
so the idea is you can play them with the base game itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of kittens out there.
I've played Unstable Unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's
the NSFW edition, the Halloween serial killer edition, the Rainbow Apocalypse, Dragon, Christmas, Adventure.
And they just keep like, what's an adjective we can put on the front of this?
Yeah. There's the Llamas Unleashed, which is llamas instead of unicorns. There's an expansion exclusive to llamas, which is like $20. I haven't gotten it because it's like the price of the base game.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
But it's just because it wasn't printed a lot. I think it was a Kickstarter type exclusive. In that same Unstable, there's Here to Slay.
Here to Slay.
The new one, the Shadow Forces. Casting Shadows.
Is Doomlings from them?
Ooh, I'm not sure, but Doomlings is another card. Just specialty cards.
And then, is it Happy Little Dinosaurs?
Yes, Happy Little Dinosaurs is by them.
Yeah.
That one's fun. They're happy little dinosaurs facing extinction.
Yeah, it's like the idea is going towards extinction.
Yeah, you're trying to not die.
I've seen that one, and it's been on my list of do I, don't I?
It's pretty fun. You have to get the expansion to play 6 people, though.
Okay.
So it's one of those ones.
It's
I think
limited
it's 5, and the expansion makes it 6.
So okay.
I hate when games do that. I'm going to buy the expansion anyways. You don't have to lock it like that for players, but Unstable, they love card games. They do it well. They got great art.
Yeah. I was like, there's so many.
Mm-hmm. There's another card game. It's just cards only. It's in a small little box. Master Thief.
I've not heard of this one.
So what it is everyone has their calling card, which is I'm the burglar. I'm looking to steal jewels and paintings, or I'm the art thief, I'm the whatever. They all have their own calling card. They're trying to get specific types of things. It's just symbols, trying to get artifacts or busts or coins or whatever, masks. And then you kind of 52 card pickup, throw all the artifacts
in like a
quotes,
pile.
artifacts in a pile face down, and you go into the museum, you sneak in, and you take a card, and you flip it, and you get to carry it, and that's your thing.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
But the twist is there are security cards mixed in.
So you could pick up a security
get
guard.
the guard dogs, trip the lasers.
Oh no! Okay.
Stuff like that. And 3 strikes, you're out. Everyone in the museum is trapped and arrested. They lose everything.
Oh.
Everyone who makes it out, makes it out. And then you get action cards. You can like grip people. So you can stop them from leaving the museum.
Oh.
You can swap. You can steal items, stash items, stuff like that. They're like specialty cards, like the smoke screen. No one can leave.
Right.
The blueprint, you can avoid the next trip that happens and put it back in.
Right.
And so you're trying to get artifacts that are worth money. You're trying to get your specific 2 certain ones to get more money, which is what you're going to steal from people. And it's the risk of we're at 2 strikes. Anyone could draw the 3rd one. Do I leave on my turn?
Yeah.
Take what I have, or do I stay
it's like,
and try to get more?
Do I take the gamble and try and steal something more, or it's like,
yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, we can play that one too.
I like that. That sounds a lot of fun.
Funny story I have about it is I loaned it to a friend to play.
Right.
Another couple I know who loves games. And they played it at a party and it got damaged.
Oh no.
Slightly. Like they spilled it and 3 cards got soda stained on them. So they bought me a new one. I later learned it was an accident, but they decided they loved the game so much they're just gonna buy me a new one and keep mine as their excuse to justify it in their budget. And that's happened twice. I can't tell you the second time wasn't intentional, but I loaned it out. It got damaged at the event, and they kept the damage. It's like a couple cards were damaged. I'm like, I'm fine taking it back. My games are all heavily played.
Yeah.
And they just like, no, we didn't want you, so we bought you a new one.
I feel so bad. Here you go.
And I'm all like, okay, yeah, you feel bad. It's a great game though.
And it's like, you're like, I still got my game back. So.
Yeah, it's like it's in a little box, really easy to carry.
Yeah.
Throw it in a backpack. It's really easy to pick up and learn, and it's got everything you need in a game. It's got the suspense, the strategy, the risk, the RNG.
Ooh, sorry, I was like
looking at the.
Yeah, I was like, wait, am I coming up? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Overall, really, really great.
I like those kind of games that are like they're simple, but they have like the fun execution.
Yeah.
Right? Which, because you get some games that there's too much going on. It's like, oh, okay, this isn't fun anymore. There's just too many rules going on now.
Yeah. I will say the thing I love most about card games, for a lot of them, if you buy a second copy, you double the player count.
Yes.
And games like Werewolf, we didn't mention, is a card game.
Oh,
Salem as well. We didn't mention their card games.
They both. They just need.
They're specialty cards. Yes.
Right.
Well, games like Salem, if you bought 2 copies, you could double the play count because you'd have enough resources for it.
Right.
Unstable Unicorns, if you get enough expansions or you buy another copy, you can add more to the play count.
Right.
It's like card games so easily make it so easy to do that. Dominion's a card game. I haven't played it too much. But it just pops into my head.
Yeah, I know.
As we were talking.
I've seen it. I've never played it or messed with it.
It's one of those ones that, a Dixit, if you haven't played. Beautiful art. It's a storytelling game.
Ooh.
Someone has a story or a sentence that they tell and read, and then you have to explain why your image best fits that story. It's very poetic interpretation.
Oh, see, that's a fun game for a creative writing class. I'm surprised.
It's great.
Professors, teachers, you'd be surprised how many games can help you teach.
Yeah, I mean, so Lonnie, the guy who does the recording, Happy Salmon, he's using for his communication class, interpersonal communication, to help break the ice and get the kids. I say kids, but it's college kids. Get them talking, interacting. And that's a great game to do. There's lots of games like that. Card games are always super easy to pick up.
That's why games like Cards Against Humanity did so well. Is because it was just bring it out, teach people the premise, and then you're kind of done from there.
I hate that it was for us, we hate people who like Monopoly. It's that's a board game, but it's not the board. It's like oh, I like games. I play Cards Against Humanity. I'm like, that's a game, but it's not the game. It's not encompassing of the potential of games.
My problem with cards is that I got people who they do like the thing like, haha, I said something edgy. I'm like, well, that wasn't funny. It was just edgy.
Or they just like whoever plays the biggest, blackest dick card is gonna win.
It's like,
even if it doesn't make sense.
I was like, haha. It's like, okay. I was really like, if you told a story with your cards off of like whatever the black card was, I'm like, you're winning. That was great.
I mean, that's why I like the other games that like Red Flag. It's specifically dating. You really have to tell a story.
Right.
You can't just be like, ho, funny word.
Yeah.
I put gonorrhea out. I'm gonna win.
It's like, no, you gotta like really.
A sentence I never thought I'd say. By the way.
Gonorrhea broken, please.
Honestly, yeah.
From fast-paced action to thoughtful strategy, the humble deck of cards never ceases to amaze. If you're new, be sure to check out our previous episodes and new ones every Friday.
Yeah, and starting next week, we're going to be getting into the first part of our first mini-series. It's going to be all things homebrew.
That'll be fun.
We've mentioned it a bit. It's been in the works.
Yeah, it's one of those, like I said, past me's talk about it, but it doesn't come out till future me's. Yeah, already forgotten about it.
So tune back in for that. It's going to be, I think right now it's a three-part series, and we have a guest returning as well. So
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there and a lot to go through.